The Traveler and I made one each. Here.
Thank you. Don't mind if...
What is it?
This flavor... I've tasted it before. Apologies. Xiangling, Traveler, thank you both. It tastes wonderful and... quite amazingly, somehow it took me right back to my childhood.
Really? That's awesome! I didn't have a chance to fully explain before. In fact, when Master had filled in the missing parts of the recipe for me, I realized... You already knew? You mean you were able... Uh-huh. Wait, but it...
About that. My grandfather was as a child, he used to say, since then, for me, as I said earlier, still.
Ancient did? Well, at least we call them Seeing Guoba just reminded me of something. I actually made this dish on the day...
How did you first...
It was in a cave. Then I ended up falling asleep. And when I woke up, I found out that Guoba had eaten every last one. Guoba followed me around ever since. Hold up! Stop the conversation. Look! The stone! It burst open!
It's...
Guoba? What are you...
Ah, I see the chili mince cornbread buns have been served.
Master! Granny, look!
Oh, indeed.
Guoba is a god?
You asked me if a sufficiently festive The stove god has always been a deity with great affection for the people, and whose passion can be a technique, a skill. Masterful chefs is wonderfully, but just now, the enormous... Of course, the stove god himself is not contained within the statue. The true stove god is... How does it feel, seeing a statue of yourself from your glory days? Look at him.
Glory days? Wait, what happened? Did Guoba used to be different from...
Oh, yeah, but all the...
A god surrendering their...
The kinds of... the threat of disaster he wants... It was his... You mortals know... Moonchase, god of the stove, born from a spark when stone struck stone. He was a god with a great love for humanity and their well-being. Millennia ago, the people sought to expand their city. They built a dwelling on the plains and called it the Guili Assembly. The stove god cared greatly for the people, turning himself into minions who went into every home, fostering food and solidarity alike. Alas, their home was taken by a flood. The waters ravaged the Guili Assembly and forced the people back south to Liyue Harbor. Though the distance was not far, the journey was plagued by a terrible storm. For a dozen days, the Adepti stayed by their side. During this time, the stove god cooked an ancient delicacy, flatbread with a meat sauce to stave off the cold and damp, fit for those on the move. Centuries later, disaster and plague arose once more. The stove god would appear no longer, for he placed all of his power into the land itself to quell the calamities. His power expended, and his wits greatly reduced. Thus his body decreased in size. By the time he parted ways with us, he wasn't even the height of a human. He told Rex Lapis and I of the dishes that bring joy and of the secrets of the flame, then went into the mountains and entered into a long slumber. The stove god departed, and Guoba was born. When he awoke, he ate the chili mince cornbread buns placed on the offering table by a young lady in yellow. Though he did not remember the past, he was profoundly moved and decided to follow this young lady thereafter. The stove god had quietly disappeared, but the vendors rose early to hawk their wares. People went out to buy goods, lit their stoves, and cooked food, just as they had done every day for as long as they could remember. In Liyue, things have always been this way. Nature provides, the mountains rejoice. We are blessed by heaven's good grace.
Years have gone by. The world has transformed, but our way of life survives.
Fame and fortune is only a season. It is the moment that we should embrace.
Past meets present. Heritage becomes legacy. Long into the future may we thrive.
You once told me that dining is the profoundest of customs in the human world. To eat well is to consume vitality itself. And to drink well, it is a matter of paramount importance, you said. A humble meal of maize and spring water. My dear friend, Liyue has changed so much while you have slept. Looking at the prosperity and beauty around us today.
Guoba, this is kind of a huge deal. Why didn't you say anything? He is...
Oh,
Guoba...
Xiangling.
Do not be saddened. In this world but he has gone further than us. So since you are...
I will!
Xiangling, you have an Adeptal the moment he awoke. After all that time,
That's right.
You may be the first person in history to...
If that's true...
Well then, it's Traveler, Paimon, Xiangling. Thank you all very much.
I guess my dad's probably... He thinks about you all...
Oh, goodness me. Off we go then.
Hi, Dad! I'm back! Hey! What are you doing there? I should be the one here... Oh no! Guoba's taken off!
Oh, it's you. Hello there, old friend.
Oh, bless my soul. Are you out for a stroll as well?
Given the season, it felt fitting to take a leisurely walk while the meal is being prepared.
Quite right. And it also gave us the chance to run into you. Guoba may not recognize you, but as ever, he seems quite delighted to see you.
So, Guoba doesn't remember anything, but can still feel when something's familiar?
Friendship will always withstand the ravages of time. Traveler, what do you think of the name of this festival? Moonchase. The moon is a carrier of countless emotions. So many things only seem to surface as we gaze up at fond memories of those no longer with. All these things and more.
Such exuberant life force, Traveler. Now, let...
Have to try the winning dish of this year's master.
I think I may have... Should I save this money? Is it time for some fancy specialties? Ha!